Life is full of unique moments, like the first time you hold your newborn baby in your arms. You have many important decisions to make throughout their life, and one to make before they are even born: whether to store their umbilical cord blood and cord tissue. Future Health Biobank, helping you to protect your family's future health. To find out more, please contact us.
Future Health Biobank, proud sponsors of How To. Prepare for your baby's arrival.
Hello and welcome to the latest episode of How To Prepare for Your Baby's Arrival. In this episode, we'll be looking at some of the practical things you can do to help your baby's oral development and hygiene needs. All parents want to do the best for their child, and throughout today's show, we'll also be looking at what parents can do to help with their new baby's development, practical, effective measures which can become part of a baby's daily routine. We spoke to Sue Mountford, our guest midwife, who tells us more about healthcare needs of pregnant mums and newborn babies. What are the most common problems during pregnancy?
Common problems during pregnancy are things such as nausea, which can start from day one of the pregnancy. Before the woman even realises she's pregnant, she can feel nauseated. She can help this by snacking, by eating little and often, and she'll probably find that she's actually gone off certain types of food, and just to go with that, don't eat it because it will make her feel worse. As you get further into your pregnancy, stretch marks develop. Stretch marks can't necessarily be helped by creams, but if the woman feels that she likes to put the cream on and that it's actually doing something for her, then so be it. But if you're going to be prone to stretch marks, unfortunately, you will be prone to stretch marks. As the pregnancy progresses, you get backache, and this is because the size of the uterus is increasing with the baby inside it. So you can help yourself by gentle exercise and making sure that the back muscles that support the back are keeping strong. Her pregnancy is also affecting her hormone levels, and the hormone levels in the body change as the pregnancy progresses, and these certain types of hormones make the ligaments between the bones and the muscles very loose, and so it can give her pelvic pain as well as back pain. She may also develop swollen ankles. This is because the pregnancy is weighing heavy on the blood vessels that are returning from the legs, so it prevents the circulation effectively working, and so they end up getting swollen ankles. Rest will help this, massage will help this, but more often than not it's something that happens towards the end of the day, and when she goes to bed at night and then wakes up, her legs will be normal again until the end of the next day. This is all perfectly normal.
We were recently joined by Bolo Lafay, who told us about an innovative product that may solve a very common problem which every new parent will no doubt encounter at some stage.
Opus Innovations was set up to design and distribute innovative products in the parent-child space. Our products have generally come about as an aid to making parents' lives easier and essentially solving a problem. And we've found that our products have generally come about as a result of actually encountering a problem ourselves as parents and finding a solution that hasn't been available on the market. And our products generally focus on the health, hygiene and well-being of babies and small children. One is the Klebo Baby and Kids Nasal Mucus Tweezers, and they are a safe and hygienic way of actually clearing small babies or children's noses of semi-solid or solid nasal mucus, otherwise known as bogies. And they are a plastic and medical grade silicone product, so they're very safe, and they have safety wings to stop over-insertion into the child or baby's nose. And they solve a problem not solved by the nasal pumps and aspirators that deal with more runny noses. Our product deals with the more kind of solid, semi-solid mucus, which is where a lot of parents find themselves improvising with dangerous objects.
Babies have got very narrow nasal passages. They're very easily blocked by mucus and dried secretions. And when the baby can't breathe through its nose, it obviously becomes quite distressed. That's distress for the baby, distressing for the parents. Often you can hear things rattling around in there, and you know that if you put your baby down, maybe they're going to be struggling to breathe, which can be quite frightening. So it's very helpful to have something which can effectively clear the mucus secretions, especially when they've dried and become like bogies. We produce mucus in order to help cleanse the air passages. What happens is that as we breathe, we inhale dust, bacteria, viruses, etc. That needs to be trapped so it doesn't go down into the lungs. So the mucus is very sticky. It traps all these inhaled particles and infections and then allows us to blow them out. Obviously a baby isn't able to blow its nose, and it can be quite distressing for the baby if the secretions remain behind and start getting dried and causing obstruction.
Oral care should play a significant part in every child's life, whatever their age. Good oral hygiene is very important to avoid a whole range of issues in the future. We met with leading experts MAM UK, who explain more.
MAM, the company itself, started in 1976, and that's when our owner Peter Ruhrig had a vision, and he wanted to create baby products that were good design and good quality and also had medical benefits. And at that time, parents had to compromise. You could really either choose a product that had a good benefit or a product that was attractive. And so we wanted to combine both of those. Well, those early critical months of a baby's development are so important, and we felt that there was lots of information for women while they were pregnant, but very few people focusing in this sort of product on those early critical months. Well, MAM started the company with soothers, and because of that we worked quite closely with orthodontists and with children's dentists, and we came to realise that the tiny mouth's a big responsibility. So we developed a range of products to help with health and hygiene over those critical early months. So starting off for 0 to 3 months, we have the Oral Care Rabbit, which can clean the gums and help remove the plaque and bacteria. And children's dentists and midwives all agree that the baby's mouth should be cleaned as early as possible, and it helps get them into a good routine and get them set for really looking after their teeth for the rest of their lives. We also have a product here called the Bite and Brush. It's got very, very soft bristles, and it lets the child bite on it, which can relieve the pain of teething and also clean the teeth at the same time. And then moving on right up to the other end of the scale, actually toothbrushes for when they're ready to brush on their own.
Establishing good oral care for your baby is vital in their early development. NUC have years of experience producing excellent quality teats and soothers with an all-natural design.
Having a baby for parents is probably one of the most exciting times in your life, but also it can be a really apprehensive time, and I think that new parents need a lot of support during the early times, and right through into the toddler stage as well. And that's what we try to give, is to give our expertise and our experience in producing the right sort of products. The whole ethos of the NUC product is that it's designed on the mother's nipple during breastfeeding, and we have a whole range of products which takes that ethos right through is what is best for baby. And we have a range of products which run right through from teats and soothers, weaning products, right into electrical goods such as video monitors and steam sterilisers and this type of thing.
Quite often people have more complex questions about feeding babies, so it may be a baby with a specific syndrome that if you were, not a midwife, not a trained professional, you perhaps wouldn't know about. So I think that always, increases customers' confidence in you and your knowledge, your ability. Also, I have a certain integrity that if I think breastfeeding, if someone has the opportunity to breastfeed, that they should be doing that. So I will always push that because I was a midwife first and the company respect me for that.
It's really important for us that parents have the right products for their babies. The most important time is in the first stages of the baby's life and the development of the oral cavity. And this is where the Nook teat is a really specialist. We have a strapline which is "We're not round for a reason." And that's because, as I say, the teat is modelled on the mother's nipple during breastfeeding, and it gives the best possible support to the oral cavity to develop. And that's really important, that mothers know that we've got their best interests at heart, and that's what we're trying to work towards, to constantly develop and make our products better, but more importantly better for the baby.
We'll be back after the break to find out more. Don't go away.
Life is full of unique moments, like the first time you hold your newborn baby in your arms. You have many important decisions to make throughout their life, and one to make before they are even born. Whether to store their umbilical cord blood and cord tissue. Future Health Biobank, helping you to protect your family's future health. To find out more, please contact us.
From an early age, the Oral Care Rabbit removes bacteria from inside the mouth and can massage sore gums for early teethers. It can provide parents the relief that they are giving their baby some loving attention, and is used to provide a strong bond that progresses to create good oral care habits. The MAM massaging brush and first brush encourages independent learning whilst reaching sensitive gums and first teeth. Start early with MAM.
For more than 50 years, Nook has been listening to the trusted experts, midwives, doctors, nutritionists, and especially mothers and fathers, in order to learn about the needs of mother and baby in those precious early years. Not round for a reason, Nook's innovative teats and soothers are inspired by nature and specifically shaped to encourage the healthy development of baby's mouth. Nook, for complete peace of mind. Nook, understanding life.
Plebo doctor-approved and recommended baby and kids solid and semi-solid nasal mucus tweezers, the safe and hygienic way to clear your child's nose. These child-friendly tweezers are made of plastic and medical-grade silicone, can be used from birth, and complement nasal pumps and aspirators. Now recommended in the Essentials Kit of the National Pharmacy Association, and available at Boots.com, Babies R Us, Amazon, and Opus Innovations. Please contact us.
Welcome back. We return to our experts who tell us more.
The midwife will come out in the first 10 days, 2, maybe 3 times, depending on the amount of days the lady has spent in the hospital. If we need to involve the GP, if we think, for instance, she has a urine infection, which is very common postnatally, then we'll get hold of the, contact the GP and ask them to come out to see the mother. On discharge, which is normally, if everything is okay with both the mother and the baby, we discharge them from our care at around 10 days, and we see them up to the 10th day, they have access to us by phone if they need us. And we will recommend that they make a 6-week postnatal appointment for both the mother and the baby to see the GP at 6 weeks. If she's had an operative delivery or she has a medical condition or we're concerned with any part of her, then we will make a 6-week appointment for the lady to come back to see the consultant in the hospital. If the baby has been in special care for any reason, then we will give them an appointment to come back and see the paediatrician in the hospital. But otherwise, all the care is taken on by the GP post-discharge.
Many parents resort to taking dried secretions out of the baby's nose by using things that aren't very safe. Things like pencils, metal tweezers, paper clips, even fingers. And I have to confess that when I had young babies, I used to keep this fingernail quite long so that I knew I could sort of go in and try and hook things out. But of course that can scratch the baby, it can damage and cause infection. Often things like the cotton buds that people use just push things further up, which make the problem worse. So Klebo's a good advance, I think, because it's a safe device, it's soft, it's hygienic, it's specially designed with little flanges so you can't put it up too far. You can just grip hold of the offending secretion, pull it out and help the baby to breathe more easily.
The world has moved on a lot since 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago, and I think there's a lot of parents that are coming up with innovative products, innovative ideas that are filling gaps that have always existed or have just improved on what's out there today. So I think it's important for parents to kind of just be aware of what goes on, understand the changes and updates in technology and products, because otherwise I believe they'll find themselves just doing things in a legacy way where they could be doing things in a better way that makes their life easier.
The Klebo tweezers come in a pack with 5 different colours. That's quite useful if you have more than one child that you might want to use them on. They can have their own colour. And also when they're a bit older, the child can get involved by choosing which colour they'd like to have used, so that helps to make it a bit less intimidating for them. When you have twins, like I did myself, then that is even better. So the tweezers come out, they've got the little soft ends, they've got the flanges, which mean that the ends can't be inserted too far up the baby's nose, and they can be used in 3 main ways. So for a young child like this, you might just want to use one end, and you can just gently tweak out any secretions that are in there and bring them down. You can use the 2 ends together without using it like tweezers, just to bring it slightly further out, and then when it's within grip you can use them like tweezers and just grab hold of the offending secretion and pull it out. Voila!
A healthy oral development is a prerequisite for overall development of a baby. It leads to many things, beginning with obviously a good digestion, which then leads on to a healthy immune system, their metabolism. It helps them be able to breathe well through their nose, their motor skills, their jaw, their tongue, and therefore their speech and education. So it shouldn't be underestimated.
NUK Teats and Soothers, we believe, are the best on the market because they have been developed by 2 German dental practitioners 50 years ago. And the whole ethos of the NUK Teat is, and the way it's been designed, that it is based on the mother's nipple during breastfeeding. So it helps the baby's oral cavity develop in the right manner, which has many, many benefits.
When you're using a soother, it's better to use it to help a baby sleep when they fall into sleep. To take it out, it has a very calming effect. So lots of parents will tell you that when their child uses a soother, they're calm for sleep. So you use it then, once they're asleep, you take it out. You shouldn't let them walk around all day sucking a soother because you need them to be speaking. And the NUK Teat and Soother helps with jaw development, which will then go on to help with speech.
Well, on average, the first teeth come at around 6 months of age, although it can be earlier than that. Both of my children actually had theirs at about 10 weeks, which was quite a surprise. and then the full set of 20 teeth should all be through by around the age of 2. Even if the teeth aren't showing, they are actually already formed in the dental ridge. So it is important to keep the baby's gums clean and free from plaque. So if you use a soft cloth or the oral care rabbit, you can gently cleanse the baby's gums, which will remove any bacteria, but it also gets them used to the feel of oral care from a very early stage. You need to be careful at this early age that anything that goes into the baby's mouth isn't contaminated, and this is because their immune system isn't as developed as ours, and we don't want to pass germs from the parents onto the children. Teething shouldn't be a painful process, but it is a new one for their child, so they can find it a little bit distressing and concerning. But if they bite on a small teether, like this Bite and Relax, that can reduce the pressure and ease the pain. There's also products like this, the gum massager, which are shaped like a toothbrush, again to get them used to the feel of oral care, and they can bite on it when they're teething, and there's also a bit shaped like a brush that will clean the teeth as well. Well, baby teeth are less robust than adult teeth, but they really are important. You know, the teeth need to come through properly because it helps the development of the facial features and also helps with the speech, that children can speak properly. And also they're the markers really for where the adult teeth come through. So it really is important that they come through properly and they're looked after properly. Well, as soon as the first tooth appears, you should start cleaning it, and hopefully by this time you'll have had good hygiene develop with the baby and they will be used to this. We recommend that you use a specially designed baby's toothbrush, so this will have soft bristles and a rounded head. Just a thin layer of toothpaste is enough for this, and just brush gently from the gums, so from the red down to the white. You start at the gums and then you do the teeth, and obviously guide your baby when they're doing that. It's also important to go to the dentist and have a checkup, again to get the baby used to that, but also just for some advice on levels of fluoride and anything else that you should be doing for your child. These first teeth really are important, and if we have a healthy start with those, it can affect the development of the other teeth and a good set of teeth for the rest of your life. It really is important to establish this routine right from the very early stages with your child, and using a soft cloth when they're small just helps them get used to the feel of healthcare, and it's far easier than struggling with a toddler when the first teeth come in. I think that parents should be aware of all of the options, so they should talk to their family, they should talk to friends, talk to parents who have children for the same age. And really the best advice I can give is if they start off with products and get people used to the feel of oral health care early, then that'll be the start for maintaining a healthy set of teeth through the rest of their life.
My biggest tip to parents is always be safe, because I think there's a lot of things that happen out there today where parents do improvise, they don't do enough research, and they do the wrong thing unknowingly. So I think it's always good to kind of just be at the forefront of what's going on. Internet's a good resource for finding out what's out there, as well as just other media sources. So I think the key is just stay ahead of the times, and I think then it's a good way to kind of make sure you're doing the right thing.
Having a baby is one of the most exciting times of your life, and it's important to look after the baby, but not to get too paranoid. Obviously, if the baby seems a bit under the weather and unwell and you are concerned, then you can always talk to your GP or to your health visitor.
Like any big event, planning is key with babies. You can't always plan the exact day they'll come, but when they have arrived, a little tip that a dad told me that helped them was, instead of everyone keep ringing, waking the baby up when you've just got them to sleep or when mom's just got to sleep because she's exhausted, is put a message on your answer machine and say, Mum and baby doing well, maybe the weight of the baby, the name, and say, we just appreciate a little bit of time just to get to know each other as a family.
I'm a father and just recently a grandfather now as well. And thinking back to when my children were young and also looking at my daughter now, it's such a fantastically exciting time. But also it's probably one of the most worrying times as well. At the same time, it's a real funny mixture of emotions that you go through. But for sure, there is no question that the best start in life is given to a child, to a baby, through breastfeeding, and we at Nook always make that clear. I think that's very important that mothers should try to breastfeed. But if they can't, then we are trying to design our products to give them everything which is as close to Mother Nature as possible. And we also find that on many occasions when mothers can't breastfeed, that the baby will take a Nook teat or a Nook soother better than some of our competitors, because it is designed in the manner that it is. So that gives, I hope, that gives the new parents some reassurance that they are doing the best for baby, because that's what I always remember, is you're always trying to think, you know, how can I do the best for my new child?
My advice to parents when they're pregnant, when they find out that they're expecting a baby, is to read as much as they can, ask as many questions as they can, and to eat properly, stay healthy, stay fit, and access the midwifery staff if they need any questions answered.
We do hope that you enjoyed today's episode of How to Prepare for Your Baby's Arrival. Don't forget to join us at the same time next week, when we'll be taking a sneak preview of some of more innovative products for your baby. Bye for now.